Hello everyone, my name is Kara Dunderdale and today I'm going to be giving you a little training on how to use Minecraft Education Edition specifically for students who have autism spectrum disorder. So we're going to focus on what Minecraft and Minecraft Education Edition is itself, how it can be used, what the benefits of using it are, and why and how it should be used to support students with autism spectrum disorder. So the first part that I wanted to cover was just background because I believe that it's imperative to go over the application or the device, whatever it is that is being studied individually before going in and specifically focusing on how it is going to help students with the aforementioned disability. So we're going to just start off with the basics of what is Minecraft, because I'm sure everyone has heard it before, but also sure that every single person watching this video is not experts on Minecraft and needs a little bit of a refresher on what it is itself before we make the argument of how Minecraft can be used as a form of assistive technology. I do know that the idea of using a video game in education, let alone using a video game for assistive technology, is a more radical approach. It is still notable and it is still important, and that's everything that this video is going to hone in on. So to start, what is Minecraft? So Minecraft is a very, very, very popular video game that has its own culture and its own participation among younger generations. A lot of students play this on their own time, and they even play together. There's different servers, different worlds where students can go on outside of school for leisure purposes and play this game. Notably, in 2013, Minecraft was ranked the #1 best-selling video game of all time and had surpassed Tetris, which is a classic. As of 2020, it has over 200 million sales. So that just shows how popular this game really is. About the game, though, it's what we call an open world sandbox game. So basically what that means is there's not, you need to do X, Y, or Z for the next phase of the game to happen. There's not certain things that you need to achieve or do in order to progress through the game. Rather, you have a lot of freedom and creativity in the game to get you to where you need to be. You could also play Minecraft in a survival mode or a design mode. So if you're more for the gaming purpose or you're more for the design and creative purpose, there's infinite possibilities. And honestly, that is what makes it so ideal for educational purposes, despite being such a popular leisure game. Because it's open-ended, there are so many different possibilities for educators. And, using such a popular video game in turn helps result in, higher engagement levels and a general deeper conceptual understanding. Additionally, it allows our students to learn in progressive new ways. Especially with the COVID pandemic, it's kind of undeniable that our world is just becoming increasingly digital. We're preparing our students for jobs that may not even exist right now. So it's important for technology and things like video games to have a significant role in their education. Likewise, students spend such a large amount of their free time and time outside of school playing this game, so let's focus on that. So this next graph just shows how quickly it surpassed Tetris, and in 2013 when it was ranked the #1 best-selling game, and you could see how rapidly it increases. As I mentioned, Tetris is like the classic popular game. It held that spot for many years, so I just thought that this was a very notable graphic to include to really visualize, how popular Minecraft is. Since 2013, you could see it was Q4, which is the last few months of the year, where Minecraft became #1. And since then, as of 2020, there have been roughly 150 million more sales. So again, seeing just how popular it is. So building off of that, something that came with Minecraft and a new model of it is the Minecraft Education Edition. So due to the popularity of Minecraft, educators started to think, how can I use it in my classroom? They started to use it innovatively in their classrooms. Since so many teachers did start using Minecraft, in 2016, the company actually created an education edition. Same company that created the game, the popular #1 game itself, created an education version. And basically the goal of that was to have features for students and to help make it easier for us teachers to use. For specifics, it helps keep students safe and also helps promote learning, while already using the features that the students are familiar with that exist in the normal leisure game. So again, it just really shows how this education edition can really help educators use this popular game that has, a culture of its own among students in the classroom efficiently. The devices that can use Minecraft Education Edition, it's compatible with iPads, Windows computers, Chromebooks, PCs, and MacBooks. So I feel like iPads, Chromebooks, PC computers are typically the most common devices that schools purchase for their students, which also helps this case of using it for educational purposes. However, if not, you could always get a new device or maybe work something out if you're using it for an individual need. Finally, the key idea about Minecraft Education Edition is ultimately that it is a game-based learning application, and it also can be argued as a form of high-tech assistive technology. So as I kind of already went into, the Education Edition will help ensure safety and protection for students who are participating in this innovative learning environment. So some of the ways that students are kept safe is that if I, as a teacher, create a world, we'll say I create a World War I world for students to come and look at, they can only join the respective worlds by entering a unique identifying class code. So, one of those unique identifier passwords, almost like Google Classroom has, for example. So they must enter that as well as a school-based email address. Even if your personal email is your name, you are not allowed to enter that world primarily because you don't have a school-based email. You have to be able, you should be in my class in order to join this world. So that makes sure no predators or outside people can get in and potentially, interact with our students. Finally, there are a few other features enabled in this edition to help manage student behavior, as well as assess their progress in the game. Like, for example, there is a journaling feature, which we will go into later. But all of these features are, in addition to the already popular leisure game. But again, it just helps make it suitable for educational purposes. So next, we're going to break down Minecraft Education Edition by form, function, and purpose. So the form of Minecraft is a form of game-based learning. It's a high-tech example of assistive technology since it is a gaming software. The function of it is to help students improve their social, communication, creative, and academic areas. And specifically, as we know, in part 2, 3, and 4, we're going to get into how it helps improve students with autism or on the autism spectrum, help improve their social, communication, creative, and academic areas. Ultimately, the purpose is to bring a progressive educational approach under the classification of assistive technology, because, again, depending on the individual and our individual students, Minecraft could really make transformational learning happen. So the pricing and availability of Minecraft. So Minecraft Education Edition is available for any credited, educational purpose. So most schools, libraries, museums, and also participants in nationally recognized homeschool organizations can apply and then get the, proper recommendations for becoming part of Minecraft. Also, starting in 2020, any student or teacher with a Microsoft Office 365 account has free access to this digital game. So their collaboration has resulted in free access, and this is great because a lot of schools do use Microsoft Office as their dominant platform. So it really makes this educational version easy to attain. However, a lot of schools also are Google-based, using Gmail, Chromebooks, Google Drive, and all of that. So if your school is not a Microsoft Office school, that's okay. You could still purchase licenses. So for classroom use, a license is roughly $5 a year per every student or faculty member. So it's per user, so you have to pay for teachers as well as students. And the $5 a year cost can be, brought down depending on how many students you're buying licenses for, how many educators, the size of your school, and so forth. But $5 a year per every user is the rough cost of it, and about what you're going to pay. So finally, the benefits of game-based learning on all students. Before our next slide, we get into part 2, focusing on students with autism spectrum disorder. So the benefits of game-based learning is that game making and learning, while it's new, it does have a lot of qualities to digitalize the classroom and still engage students. So kind of like I mentioned earlier, we're preparing students for they're entering a extremely digital world, so much different than 10, 20, 30 years ago. And this constructionist approach, it really helps students become more hands-on with their learning. And that is essential, especially for students who are on the spectrum. Then finally, it can support students with diverse learning needs. It doesn't just have to be students with autism spectrum disorder. It could be students with any disability, English language learners even, for example. And it allows, Minecraft allows it to be an inclusive and innovative new approach to teaching where students don't feel ostracized, since all students love video games and all students want to have video games in their classroom. And notably, all students can benefit from this new approach. It doesn't matter, if you have autism or not, and again, it helps make sure students aren't feeling ostracized. So now we will get into specifically how it impacts students with autism. Okay, so now we're going to get into our target population, and for this video, our target population is students with autism spectrum disorder. It's really important for this part to keep in mind that autism, again, is a spectrum disorder, and it's really important to keep that in mind as we go through this and remembering the differences between this disorder and all of the different students as well. Because again, it's not like Minecraft is going to be the form of assistive technology that just works perfectly for every single person or individual on the spectrum. So to start, we are going to just do a quick little review of what assistive technology even is. And assistive technology is simply technology to support individuals with disabilities. It can be a hearing aid, can be a wheelchair, can be the built-in accessibility features on our phones or our computers, those different features that we have, larger text even, for example. We use assistive technology all the time without even fully noticing it. So an assistive technology device specifically is, by definition from the Disabilities Act of 1988, better known as the Tech Act, it states any item, piece of equipment, or product system, whether acquired commercially, modified, or customized, that is used to increase, maintain, or improve functional capabilities of individuals with disabilities. So that's a pretty straightforward definition as well. So, again, using hearing aids as an example, that is still a form of assistive technology device. However, Minecraft is a more innovative, progressive approach to, classifying it as assistive technology. However, on the following slides, I'm going to explain to you how Minecraft can help improve functional capabilities of individuals. I'm looking right here, and we're going to come back to it. But Minecraft is a piece of equipment. We have acquired it, whether you have an office email, whether you paid for the licenses, and it can improve functional capabilities for individuals with disabilities. And in this case, again, our target population is students who have autism spectrum disorder. So our essential question, I'm sure a lot of you are probably thinking, how is a video game classified as a form of assistive technology? Parents may be hesitant towards this, guardians, other educators, other even administrators, people might not understand. But it's a progressive idea that video games and game-based learning is beneficial. I've said it multiple times in this video already, but the world is only becoming increasingly digital. So that's why game-based learning is kind of pushing its way in. Esports is actually the #1 spectator sport, and that's basically just playing video games like Super Smash Bros. So because of this, and because of all of these new changes to our world, the education world needs to follow behind. Arguably, since assistive technology is a very broad term, so if we go back, it's technology to support individuals with disabilities. That's a very broad term. And that's to stay constant with these changes in the field. Since 1988, think about how many changes there has been in technology. Think about all of the different advancements we have made. Because of that, this assistive technology term is broad, so we could have these changes. So therefore, although it is a little bit progressive, the classification of assistive technology, it can be argued that video games, but specifically Minecraft, can mean under that. Also in the textbook, it's argued that the classification of assistive technology, things like high tech, low tech, that's essential because it helps us stay current and inclusive. It helps make sure that we are not limiting any new ideas, like Minecraft, for example, from being considered under this definition. So therefore, certain video game softwares, like Minecraft, can now be defined under this term, and it's as a high-tech tool of assistive technology. So to help prove how Minecraft is a form of assistive technology, I'm going to use different research and case studies. As you could see, right here is the first one that we are citing, but you could see how there's different benefits for students with autism spectrum disorder, and please note again that ASD right here is the abbreviation for that disorder. So to start, we're going to look at the social benefits of Minecraft for ASD students. So the idea of communication is virtually, communicating, not, verbally, not in those traditional means. And, it has great potential to help students with autism spectrum disorders. It really helps them hone in on their communication skills. This is something that a lot of students struggle with. If we go back to our, organizer, we could see all of the different areas that students may struggle with. So depending on their IEP plan, students may already receive accommodations for this. The research that can be used to support how social benefits of Minecraft is seen here, and I will read this quote from a 2016 case study. Those with ASD often struggle with face-to-face social interactions, but they still express a desire to connect socially. Playing Minecraft can help these players meet their social goals and gain the positive effects of socialization. So as we could see from this quotation, students do want to, but it is a struggle for students with autism in a lot of cases. Struggles to fit in, struggles to communicate, struggles to express their ideas. So doing it in this way is a really innovative way, and it can really help them, as it said in this quote, meet their social goals. So that is the first piece of evidence that I'm going to use to discuss the benefits of Minecraft. The next area that we are going to discuss is sensory processing benefits, and again we can go back here and we can see sensory processing is on this scale. And another reason that Minecraft is good is because it helps create an inclusive classroom setting, as we previously mentioned, and students can get accommodations seamlessly. So as we noted, students who are on the spectrum frequently suffer from sensory processing disorders as well. And this can Minecraft actually can help serve as a break from interacting in a traditional class setting, taking some time to interact in their virtual world, taking some time to express themselves in this virtual world. Taking some time to type to classmates in a chat is a break from interacting in that traditional setting. So we do have another piece of evidence to help us support this, and it says virtual spaces are, for the most part, less engaging from a sensory point of view. So, for example, they only engage with some of the senses and are mostly housed within the confines of the computational platform being used to render them. So again, it helps give students a break because school all day can be very overwhelming. So it helps give them, a less engaging method and a place and an environment where they can be successful. Also in Minecraft Education Edition, for sensory purposes, for students with these sensory processing disorders, there are sensory breaks included, because although the previous quote that we saw on this last slide explains that virtual spaces are for the most part less engaging, it's still important to note that it can still be overwhelming to be in this open-ended world without clear, concise expectations or guidelines. So people who struggle with self-regulation in the face of sensory stimulation, it could really, address this. So what Minecraft did to address these issues was creating sensory regulating spaces within the virtual world. And here we have a quotation from someone who, a 2019 case study, and they're reflecting on Minecraft and when they came across a sensory break. And it says, "I came across a hole in the ground. like a small, dark chamber just big enough for an avatar to stand inside. A member informed me that it was built to give them a sensory break. When they went inside and plugged the top of their hole, their screen would go all black. So it's a way built into learning to give students that break, to give them the time that they need. And also, again, we don't want to ostracize our students. It gives them this break when they're interacting with their world and interacting with their classmates in a virtual world without making it apparent that they need a sensory break, without having to, physically, maybe step out of the classroom, whatever it is. So this is just one example of how it can also further support students on the spectrum. So next we are going to look at the benefits of Minecraft on creativity and self-expression for students with autism spectrum disorder. So we know that Minecraft is an open-ended world without any limitations, and students are able to create whatever they would like with the resources available in the game. And something that I think is interesting is in a 2015 article, the author compares Minecraft to 21st century of Legos, in which players can explore almost anything they can imagine. That is exactly true. So that kind of shows how it can really promote creativity and self-expression, because players can explore or create anything that they imagine, anything that they want, anything that they're interested in. So if a student is interested in video game, culture, or in Minecraft itself, it can really help them hone in on their creativity and their self-expression. And sometimes this can be really difficult to attain for students with autism spectrum disorder. So it's really important to know other ways. So let's say we have a student who we know is an expert, a pro at video games, but does not always do the best in, creativity, self-expression, or social. This might be a transformational approach to, really help them improve in these areas. So next we're going to look at the benefits of Minecraft outside of school for students on the spectrum, because the main goal of using Minecraft with these students is to increase their social and communication skills. And of course, in education, we're looking at this for educational purposes in this professional development training. However, they can continue to use this tool outside of the classroom to really work on this development, especially if, like I just mentioned, a student who is like an expert at the game, they can really help reinforce all of the social and communication skills that are being learned in school on their own time if leisure and playing the game for fun is something that they are interested in. So there are already Minecraft servers where people can play the game together live, current up-to-date speed via the internet. However, a negative is that these servers are not always regulated. So therefore, it is not always the safest place for students with autism spectrum disorders to work on developing their social skills. There may be vulgar language, there may be bullying, there may be rude comments, and since there is not, someone regulating and monitoring the chat, like in the education purposes, it may not be the best place for, students with autism spectrum disorder. So that is a negative or a drawback of Minecraft. However, there's now something called AutoCraft, and an amazing man named Stuart Duncan, seen over here in the red. He is a father to these two kids, and he is autistic, and one of his sons is autistic as well. And they both liked Minecraft, and they could really see the benefits of Minecraft. He specifically, in a TED Talk, you could see in the back the TED logo, in this TED Talk, he emphasized how, his student was, or his child was really doing so well with expression and creativity. And it was almost like a whole different version of their son online with Minecraft. However, people were being mean and bullying him. He was excellent at Minecraft, but people would start communicating, he would struggle with the communication, and people would bully him because of that. So Stuart Duncan decided, let's create a server, a safe place where my student or my child won't get bullied. So AutoCraft, by definition, from a case study as seen up here, this case study focuses specifically on using Minecraft for autistic students, and it focused on AutoCraft. So AutoCraft is a semi-private server on Minecraft created for children with autism, their family, and their allies. So maybe the brother and his sibling can both play. Anyone who is, wishing or wants to be a part of AutoCraft must complete an application. there's a bit of an extensive process to get, inducted into the craft world because, again, they want to ensure safety and they want to ensure that it is a place for all these students and, children who have autism. Currently, there are 8,000 individuals with this disability on the server. Again, Stuart Duncan, he emphasizes and recognizes the benefits of this disability, the benefits of Minecraft for people with this disability, and he was motivated to make this happen. And now he has so many different features to recognize these children on the app and to do all these different things and to make them learn and participate and have a leisure place where they can interact in a safe place. So we're going to look at the benefits of ArtCraft and using Minecraft outside for these students. And, it's relevant in a few ways because even though we wouldn't necessarily use ArtCraft in our own classrooms, it's still something that we can bring to our students. So I thought it was relevant to include in this professional development training session because maybe you're going to try using Minecraft Education Edition with a student. They may be very receptive and react positively to it. And now you can in return teach them about ArtCraft. Maybe they could become part of this extensive community. So ArtCraft, it is relevant because if a student reacts positively to Minecraft as a form of assistive technology in the classroom, it would definitely extend beyond the school walls. And again, if we go back to this definition, it's essentially technology to support individuals with disabilities. There's no limitations on what it is, so even if it's benefiting them outside of school, helping them develop their social skills. Because again, some things and some ways that ArtCraft would help is it would help develop deep social skills and empathy and a sense of belonging in this close-knit, tight group, this tight virtual community. Additionally, since everyone playing on the server does have autism, students may feel less ostracized than in other settings. And I know that I've kind of brought this up a few times in this video, and that's because it's important. I know personally in my classroom, regardless of the student, their accommodation, their need, whatever it is, it's imperative to make sure that they aren't standing out. We never want to do that to our students. We want an inclusive and safe, welcoming environment. So by implementing Minecraft across the board, it could greatly benefit students with autism in the class as well as making them feel less ostracized. Same thing applies when they're playing with ArtCraft outside of school. Everyone on the server has autism, so they don't have to worry about bullying like Stuart Duncan and his child once did. Individuals, though, the best part about it is that they have a place where they can feel comfortable and they can take away the benefits of Minecraft and socializing with this assistive technology tool while also having fun and maybe even making friendships. In the quote from the case study that I included on the previous slide, they mentioned how because they were part of the ArtCraft Facebook group, they ended up finding out that two players, their two kids, lived pretty close by, only like 45 minutes away. So they decided to meet up, and now they have a new best friend, and they made friendships because of ArtCraft. So again, this shows how this can translate outside of the classroom because it can allow students to see a different side to them. So let's do a quick little recap and going back to our essential question. So how is a video game classified as a form of assistive technology? So we have looked at how Minecraft can help socializing, how it can help communication, how it can meet sensory needs, how it can help build creativity and self-expression. It could benefit students outside of the classroom. It could help encourage new friendships and a sense of community. So if we break down this definition, it's a game-based system. We can acquire it through licenses or through Microsoft Office, and then here it improves the functional capabilities of individuals with disabilities. And in this case, again, our target population is individuals with autism rather than disabilities. So as seen on the following or the previous slides and in the following bullet points, we can see just how many different ways that we are improving functional capabilities of these individuals. Lastly, we are going to focus on how to determine if Minecraft would be appropriate for a student who is autistic or has autism spectrum disorder. And of course, like with any type of assistive technology, it is in a student's IEP plan. So an IEP team would be the best, and they would be the ones who would determine if it would be an appropriate tool based on an individual's need. However, there are always other considerations to take into account. So some of the main ones are the principles of just knowing knowing the individual, not making this tool fit for every single student with autism, but rather using this tool when it's appropriate. So does the student have an interest in Minecraft itself? Have they played it before? Or maybe are they at least interested in video game culture but have never played Minecraft, but maybe have another favorite video game that isn't too educational, but similar concepts. Again, has the student played Minecraft? Does the student need support in social interaction or communication? So maybe they don't do a good job interacting with their peers and, stations activities in the classroom, moving from place to place, or just interacting with each other, communicating or expressing their ideas. Maybe they have sensory processing disorder, and that just specifically the basic question is, how can Minecraft support their individual needs? The key idea, though, is that if Minecraft or video game culture itself is something that a student is deeply interested in, this could truly be transformational. And again, this further emphasizes the importance of ensuring that this is used properly, just like any other assistive technology device. So part 3, we are going to look into the Minecraft world, and we are going to do that by, I'm actually going to screen record and show you Minecraft. I'm just not going to show my face after the next slide or two so that you could fully see the Minecraft world. So when we're looking at Minecraft gameplay, again, here's this quote from Harold comparing Minecraft to 21st century Legos and the endless possibilities. And again, the reason why Minecraft is so great is because there are no limitations. So in turn, this makes it great for interdisciplinary learning. And some integration ideas are the teacher could create a Minecraft world where students can play independently, they could work in small groups, they could work as a class. Maybe if you're working on developing better social skills for a student with autism, working in small groups would be less overwhelming than as an entire class. Another option is creating a teacher-generated example where they can just come and observe. So rather than creating a traditional PowerPoint to go through and flip through, you could just create this world and students can explore in the world on their own. Additionally, since the Education Edition version has a plethora of already created worlds for different units of study, you can just use those, and I will show you how to get to them in part 4. Just modify them for individual student, need and based on your individual students or class. And finally, students could create their own world, maybe create a civilization, maybe create a building in history, maybe create whatever it is. They could create something to demonstrate their knowledge. So again, as previously mentioned, Minecraft Education Edition works interdisciplinary, and we are going to look at a few different examples of, math, science, social studies, and ELA. And since it's interdisciplinary, this further, is reasoning why we should use Minecraft as an assistive technology tool, because it can really help the students dive into the material in all subject areas across the board, rather than just here or there. So in the following videos, as I mentioned, I'm going to just hide my screen so that you can actually see the entire Minecraft world. And I have 3 different interdisciplinary examples, and then in part 4, I will show you how to get to the library and create your world. So thank you. We will get tuned into the next video. Okay, so here's our first example. Okay, so the first interdisciplinary example we are going to look at is for English Language Arts, or an ELA course. And as I previously stated, all of these worlds are already created by the Minecraft Education Edition team. And you can see over here, you could just create the world and then share that with your students. There's a lesson plan with specific questions and guides for your students. If you click on this button, it'll bring you to an additional web link. And then as well as if you look down here, there's a description, objectives, and extensions. You could read more about it. And what's notable about the extension is you could have students work in a group. They could work individually. They could do a Minecraft book report. They could use the camera and the portfolio and export their projects and share it with the class. They could even record a video of them self-demonstrating it. Also, this is for ages 8 and up. Reading is essential at all grade levels. So students very young, 8-year-olds, are sometimes better than adults or older adolescent students at Minecraft. So this is an example of how any teacher can benefit from this, whether you are teaching exceptional students, whether you are teaching students with different disabilities, whether you're working with adolescent, college students, or elementary level students. This is a great resource to use. Okay, our next example is a mathematics example. Okay, so our next example is a mathematics example, and as you could see up on this Minecraft chalkboard, there are the instructions that the teacher made for the students. So in this case, they would go to the application, they would open up Minecraft, and rather than doing their fraction problems on pen and paper, which can sometimes be difficult for students, they can rather express and demonstrate their knowledge on Minecraft. So as you can see, there are instructions, and there are 3 different areas. So they're doing blocky fractions using the blocks, which are one of the common resources and materials in Minecraft. So 3 areas, they have the different blocks representing fractions. They have to build a missing one. They have to use different codes to build number lines, figure out missing fractions, and all of this is great and exactly what we would be doing on paper, except in a progressive virtual manner. And you could see over here is one of the 3 stations. Here is the second, and that individual is representing a teacher or a teaching assistant in the classroom, and then the 3rd section is over there. Another interesting feature on this is, as you can see, since there's writing and instructions, over to the left of the screen, we have the different instructions. So the keyboard manual. So W makes you walk forward, S makes you walk backwards, double space to start flying, and so forth. So you could see that depending on where you are looking in the world, these features change. When you get to instructions, you can hit I, and it opens an immersive reader. So it'll take 1 second to load, and then it can read it to the student. Blocky fractions. There are 3 areas. So as you can see, it reads through it, opens it in bigger text. There's different text preferences, grammar options, and reading preferences as well. So as you can see, there are a lot of good features and innovative ways to present content to students in Minecraft. Okay, our 3rd and final example. Okay, so our next example could be used in a history or social studies based class, learning about geography, or even just a lesson about different cultures. As you can see, this is a pre-existing world. It was already created, so it has the description, learning objectives, and so forth. The description is to learn about Mesopotamia or the Fertile Crescent, and how people adapted to this environment. There's learning objectives and some teacher prep and notes, important things to know, almost like a lesson plan, except in Minecraft Education Edition. There's the notes that it was a successful ancient civilization due to its location between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. And there's the student activities, because there are 6 different areas on the map, again, that the creator made for almost like 6 different stations, except in the Minecraft world. All students in the class are participating and engaging in this one world all at once, able to communicate with each other almost like they're in the classroom, except in a digital manner. This may be something that they're more receptive to, since they have, played Minecraft before outside of school. Noting that Mesopotamia, the rivers were essential to their civilization. Rivers are pretty critical in Minecraft, whether you're playing Education Edition or just the regular leisure version. So students can make that connection now. Well, that's how I typically use the river, so I could see how they used it based on, this Minecraft example, using what they're already familiar with and kind of extending it, embellishing, or elaborating on it. Finally, the assessment. So here, this is notable, the book and quill feature. And on Minecraft, that essentially is just a journaling feature. It's almost like, any word processor or Word document. Students can write down different question answers. If the teacher asks 5 questions per each 6 areas or stations on the Minecraft world. They could write their answers there. They could write paragraph reflections. They could write observations of things that they see. They could pose questions based on what they saw. There's so many different features and ways that students could use this book and quill. And that's what makes this, Minecraft world so interesting. You can look at what other teachers have done and then just kind of modify that to meet your own students' needs. So maybe a student who has autism may not do the best with doing some of these others, and you might have to modify it to meet their own needs. However, meeting that socialization aspect, that has been discussed throughout this presentation, Minecraft is a great way to help students socialize and interact with each other. So now if we scroll up to the top and you just hit Create World, and this is like any of the Minecraft worlds that you find, you hit Create World. It'll take roughly 30 seconds, and then it will generate the world for you, the unique world for your students, and here we are. So you could see to open chat, you could press T. Then if our class is all playing, currently I'm the only one on, I could write, hello, everyone, and enter it, and it says my name, my Minecraft name. So all of these are different features that you can use. So if we go back, we can look around this Minecraft world. There's another person in the Minecraft world. So if we were playing, again, live in a class, those would be our different classmates. In the back, you could see different features and different structures that were created in the Minecraft world. There's a little city or civilization over there. More of these wonders that are from these ancient civilizations, and you can move all around and see how everything is represented in this Minecraft world. Students can interact. There's the rivers over there. Students can explore this world, and like I said previously, they may be more receptive to learning in this manner since they like Minecraft. They're interested in Minecraft on their own, and now they're learning about a civilization in their own way. This really shows the different benefits, the visual aspect of it, as well as the benefits for socialization and communicating with their peers. There are just so many benefits of Minecraft, and this example from Mesopotamia is a prime example. Okay, so here is part 4, our final part to set you up so now you can use this in your own classrooms after this professional development training. So this is just the main screen that you will see in Minecraft Education Edition. So View My Worlds is worlds that you have already created and played on. View Library, Create New, Join World. So your students would join world and they would enter the unique identifying code. You can import worlds, you can export worlds and share them with other people. But for the purpose of this video and what I have shown you in the past several videos, you're going to hit Create New, and then New is just starting out from scratch with a blank, empty canvas, open-ended to create whatever you want, express yourself. If you're a teacher, maybe make whatever world, like you just saw in the Mesopotamia example. However, if you just want to use what the experts have already created, you would go here, Create New, Templates, and then you could see My Templates. You could go down here to Featured Templates, hit View More, and it's going to bring you to the library. So you can see Create Your Own Museum. That's more of one for, expression. There's different tutorials. There's the fractions one that we looked at. A Christmas Carol for the holidays, algebra architecture, stuff about fishing and being an angler, an aquarium, arrays for math, breaking numbers, building a clock, building a dam. You could have students recreate the Hoover Dam. Build a better bedroom, so you could even do life skills with this. Build a campsite. There's so many different examples, so we'll just keep scrolling so you could see, here you could be underwater and looking at coral reefs, conflict and stories, you could do that for ELA again. There are just so many different examples. So a chemistry one right here, element scavenger hunt, having the blocks that are notable to Minecraft representing different elements on the periodic table. This can really make students just open up their minds They could learn about different world wars. It's just all about presenting the content to student in different ways. So if you are interested in doing this after this professional development training, you can scroll through and see these are just only some of the ones that are published. There are thousands out there for you to choose from, or if you're bold enough after some experience, you could even create your own. So Minecraft Education Edition, there's just so many possibilities. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you have any further questions, comments, or concerns, my email, dunk61@oneonta.edu, is below. Additionally, if you are or started to use Minecraft in your classroom and would like to update me, I would love to hear and see how it went. So please feel free to reach out to that email, and thank you for watching. Finally, to leave off, here are the references in case you would like to read the different case studies and see the different support I have for the reasoning. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye.